Hello, boys and girls. I'm your Peter Pan storyteller.
This is the story of The Last Starfighter.
This is the story of Gremlins.
This is the story of Tron.
This is the story of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
This is the story of The Empire Strikes Back.
You can read along with me in your book.
You can follow the story along with me.
Every time you hear this sound,
Turn the pages when you hear this sound.
You will know it is time to turn the page when you hear the computer sound like this.
Let's begin now.
Hey kids, it's time for another episode of When You Hear This Sound, brought to you by the Space Monkey X Audio Workshop. This is your host, Rob Lamley. On this episode, we're going to listen to one of my favorite audio drama records, WarGames by Buena Vista Records. WarGames tells the story of David Lightman and Jennifer Mack, who accidentally hack into a supercomputer named War Operation Plan Response, aka WOPR. WOPR's primary function is to control the U.S. nuclear response should the Soviets launch their nukes first. When David finds himself inside WOPR's network, he asks it to play a game called Globo-Thermonuclear War that makes the military think WOPR has gone rogue and is about to start World War III. WarGames was released on June 3, 1983. It was co-written by Walter Parks and Lawrence Lasker, a writing duo that would go on to pen one of the best films of the 1990s, Sneakers, starring Robert Redford. The director was John Badham, whose previous work included Saturday Night Fever and Blue Thunder, and would go on to direct Short Circuit, Stakeout, Bird on a Wire, and Point of No Return, among many others. However, Badham was not the first director of WarGames. Martin Brest, best known for Beverly Hills Cop, Midnight Run, and Scent of a Woman, shot for 12 days on the film before he was replaced, because his take on the script was darker and less fun than the studio was looking for. WarGames stars Matthew Broderick as David Lightman in one of his first film roles. Jennifer Mack is played by Ali Sheedy, also in one of her first roles. The stepfather that all Gen X kids wish they'd had, Dabney Coleman, plays the closest thing to a villain in the film as Dr. John McKittrick, who is convinced that David is working with the Russians to sabotage WOPR. The film was made with a $12 million budget, but would go on to make $124 million at the box office, making it a bona fide hit and has since become a Gen X pop culture touchstone. While it was preceded by other computer panic films like Colossus the Forbin Project in 1970 and Demon Seed in 1977, it was the first movie of that subgenre that really hit the mainstream. 1983 was only a year after the release of the Commodore 64, the best-selling computer at the time, so WarGames came out right as computers were starting to come out from under the shroud of niche basement hobbyists and into America's living rooms. The computers in the film may have been more advanced, but it was at least relatable now to many more people who were excited and yet slightly intimidated by the potential of this new technology. Other than a novelization, there wasn't really a lot of merchandise for WarGames, so this record is a bit of an oddity. It was produced by Buena Vista, a Disney imprint, who put out some of the best record books of the era, and this one is no exception. It doesn't use any of the original performances, but the voice acting is still quite good, even if the actors don't all sound like their film role counterparts. If you're a fan of the film, and really who isn't, I guarantee you're going to dig this record. So let's not waste any more time and get to The Story of WarGames, produced by Buena Vista Records, released in 1983. Enjoy.
Testing. This is Missile Officer's Log, Control Capsule 29er, North American Air Defense Command. Time, 1600 hours. You ready, Steve?
I have a red light on the missile group status board, sir. Bird number 8, warhead alarm.
Give it a tap with your finger.
That got it. Alarm reset.
Okay, now let's get... Now what?
Skybird, this is Dropkick with a Red Dash Alpha message in 2 parts. Break. Red Dash Alpha.
Stand by to copy message.
Standing by.
Romeo, Oscar, November, Charlie, Tango, Lima, Alpha. Authentication 22040 Delta, Lima.
I have a valid message. Stand by to authenticate.
I agree with your authentication also, sir.
Enter launch code.
Entering launch code.
Launch order confirmed.
Target selection complete, sir. Time on target sequence complete. Yield selection complete.
Begin countdown. T minus 60,
All right, let's do it. Insert launch keys.
Standing by.
Go. Launch key inserted.
My launch key's inserted, sir.
On my mark, rotate launch keys to set. 3, 2, 1, mark.
All silo doors open, sir.
T-minus 40.
Shall I enable the missiles, sir?
Enable missiles.
Number 1 enabled. 2 enabled. 3, 4, 5.
I'm gonna get Crystal Palace
6,
on the phone.
7, 8, 9, 10. All missiles enabled.
T-minus 30.
Phone's dead. Get the command post on the direct line.
That's not the correct procedure, Captain.
SAC, try SAC headquarters on the HF.
That's not the correct procedure, sir.
I want to confirm this before I kill 20 million people.
T-minus 20.
I get nothing on the high-frequency rigs, sir. They might have been knocked out already.
Right, on my mark, rotate launch keys to launch.
Roger, ready to launch.
T-minus 15. 14. 13.
13,
12,
12, 11, 10, 9,
8.
No,
7,
we can't.
6.
Sir, we have a NORAD
5,
launch order. Put your hand
4,
on your keys, sir.
3, 2, 1. Launch.
Sir, we have a launch. Turn your key or I'll be forced to shoot, sir.
I'm sorry. I am so
I
sorry.
won't warn you again. Turn your key or I'll fire, sir.
I've been instructed to make this absolutely clear to all of you here at NORAD. General Behringer, Mr. McKittrick, the President is gravely concerned over the performance of your missile launch officers during the test. Nearly 22% of them failed to fire their missiles when the signal was given. Now, what am I supposed to tell the President? That 22% isn't so bad?
Well, Mr. Cabot, I've ordered a complete reevaluation of our psychological screening procedure, and we're...
Excuse me, General Behringer, but you can't totally screen out human responses. It's as simple as that. Mr. Cabot, I think we ought to take the men out of the loop.
Mr. McKittrick, you're out of line, sir.
What do you mean, out of line?
Hold it. What do you mean, McKittrick? Take the men out of the loop?
He means removing the men from the missile silos. But I say there's no replacement for trained officers at those launch controls. We've had men in these silos since before any of you were watching Howdy Doody. Now, for myself, I sleep pretty well knowing those boys are down there.
General, we all know they're fine men. But in a nuclear war, we can't afford to have missiles lying dormant in their silos just because those men refuse to launch when the computers tell them to.
You mean when the President tells them to?
Oh, yes, of course. But if there's a surprise attack, we'll have only 23 minutes warning from launch to impact, and only 6 minutes if it's submarine launched. That's barely enough time for the President to make a decision. And when he does, the computer should take over.
Exactly how would it work?
Now, Mr. Cabot, I know you've got a plane waiting for you, but if you could indulge me for just 5 minutes, I'd like to show you something.
All right, Mr. McKittrick.
Gentlemen, if you'll come with me. These computers give us instant access to the state of the world. Troop movements, Soviet missile tests, shifting weather patterns. It all flows into this one room here, and then into the Whopper computer.
Whopper? What is that?
War Operation Plan and Response. The Whopper spends all its time thinking about World War III. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, it plays an endless series of war games, using all the available information on the state of the world. The Whopper has already fought World War III as a game time and time again. It estimates Soviet responses to our responses to their responses and so on. It estimates damage, counts the dead, and it looks for ways to improve its score. But the point is that the key decisions for every conceivable option in a nuclear crisis have already been made by the Whopper.
So what you're telling me is that all this trillion-dollar hardware is really at the mercy of the men with those little brass launch keys?
That's exactly right. Whose only problem is that they're human beings. But in, 30 days, we could replace them with electronic relays. Get the men out of the loop.
Gentlemen, I wouldn't trust this overgrown pile of microchips any further than I could throw it. And I don't know if you want to trust the safety of our country to some silicone diode.
General, nobody is talking about entrusting the safety of the nation to a machine, for God's sake. We'll keep control, but we'll keep it here at the top where it belongs.
All right, gentlemen. I think I'm going to recommend McKittrick's idea to the President when I get back to him.
You won't regret this.
For the sake of this country, I pray you're right, McKittrick. But I tell you what, I never saw the computer yet. Program it how you will. It makes enough allowance for the human factor.
Thanks for the ride home, Jennifer. Want to come in?
Are you sure your parents won't mind, David?
They're both at work.
Oh. Listen, I'm really sorry I got you into trouble in class today, but you're so funny I just couldn't stop laughing.
That's okay. I flunked the exam same as you. You didn't make things any worse.
So I guess we're both stuck in summer school.
Like I told you before, not me.
You keep saying that, but you're gonna have to make up biology.
I don't think so. Come on, I'll show you why. My room's upstairs.
Well, okay.
This one here is it.
You keep your bedroom locked?
Yeah, got a lot of valuable equipment in here. Took me a long time to put my system together.
Hey, you're really into computers, huh?
Yep, computers and video games.
What are you doing?
I'm dialing into the Seattle Public School System Data Network, the school computer. They change the password every couple of weeks, but I know where they write it down. Now, let's see here. Lightman, David D.
Are those your grades?
Yeah, I don't think I deserve an F, do you? So I'm changing it to a C.
David, you can't do that.
It's already done. Now, Mac Jennifer. You have a middle initial?
K. Catherine.
K.
Those are my grades.
How can anybody get a D in home ec?
That's none of your business. Can you erase this, please?
Nope, too late.
What are you doing?
I'm changing your biology grade.
No, I don't want you to do that. You're gonna get me in trouble.
No, nobody can find out. There, you just got a C. Now you don't have to go to summer school.
Change it back.
Why? They can't possibly check it.
I said change it back.
Okay.
I guess I better get home.
Well, thanks for the ride.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Mac, Jennifer K. Biology A. With my compliments, Jennifer.
Well, General, we've got the first batch of silos adapted to the Whopper's launch control.
Oh, fine, McKittrick. I knew what to do with my men when they messed up. Now that they're out of the loop, what end of the Whopper do I kick when there's a mistake?
General, this decision came from the top. You heard Cabot.
Yeah, and it made you awfully happy, didn't it?
It'll work, General. You'll see.
You'd better hope so, Mr. McKittrick. We'd all better hope you haven't overlooked even one single darn thing. Not one. 'Cause that's all it'd take.
Hi, David. Your dad told me to come on up.
Oh, hi, Jennifer.
Listen, the other day, I can't believe I was so dumb about changing my grades.
That's okay.
You can still change it, can't you?
If they haven't changed the password.
Hey, what's your computer doing?
Dialing telephone numbers. There's this computer company, Protovision, that's going to be putting out these amazing new home computer games in a couple of months. The programs for them are probably still in the Protovision databank. So I told my computer to search for other computers in Sunnyvale, California, where the company's located.
Search?
Yeah. Listen. Computers answer with a tone that other computers can recognize.
Look, is this gonna take long? I'd really like to get my grade changed.
Yeah, that's funny. Actually, because, I already changed it.
But I told you not to do that.
I didn't want you to flunk, Jennifer.
Oh. Well, what'd I get?
A D.
A D? You gave me a D?
No, just kidding. You got an A.
Oh. Well, that's okay. Thanks.
Sure. Now let's see what the computer's got for us so far.
Hey, you got a bank.
Gotta make a note of that one. Might come in handy someday. Oh, look, an airline.
Pan Am.
Where shall we go?
New York.
New York.
No, Paris.
Paris. Okay. Will you be traveling alone?
Yes. No, you're gonna go with me.
Let's see. All right. You're confirmed on Pan Am's Flight 114 leaving Chicago's O'Hare Airport at 8:15 a.m. on 18 August. Do we need a rental car? Nah.
Do we really have tickets to Paris?
No. We have reservations, though.
Try the next one.
This computer isn't identifying itself. Well, let's try anything. 00001 operator.
Identification not recognized by system. Connection terminated. How rude.
I'll get it back and ask it for help.
Can you do that?
On some systems, yeah. The more complicated they are, the more they have to help you. Watch. Help log on games.
Games refers to models. Simulations and games which have tactical...
That must be Protovision.
Tactical and strategic applications? Huh? What does that mean?
I don't know, but that's gotta be them. Turn on that printer, will you? I want to get this on paper. List games. Falcon's Maze? Never heard of it. What?
Blackjack? Chess?
Desert Warfare?
Theater-wide biotoxic and chemical. David, look!
Global thermonuclear war? Oh my god, this is great. Now all I gotta do is figure out how to get into the system. Jim? Hey, Jim, you got a minute?
Oh, Lightman, hello. What brings you here?
Jim, I need your advice. Here, take a look at this printout.
Where'd you get this?
I was trying to break into Protovision. I wanted to see the programs for their new games.
Well, let's see, theater-wide biotoxic and chemical warfare. Lightman, this didn't come from Protovision. Looks military to me.
Yeah, but if it's military, why does it have games like checkers and backgammon?
Well, maybe because those are games that teach basic strategy.
Jim, how do I get into that system? I want to play these games. Look at this one. Global thermonuclear war. Jim, I just gotta play that one.
Well, you'll never get in through their frontline security, but you might look for a back door.
What's a back door?
Well, whenever I design a system, I always put in a simple password that only I know about. That way, whenever I want to get back in, I can bypass whatever security they've added on.
So what do I do?
Okay, if you really want to get in, find out as much as you can about the guy who designed the system. Start with the first game on the list. You go right through Falcon's Maze.
David, are you awake?
Huh? Oh, hi, Jennifer. Sure, come in.
Your father said I could come upstairs and see if you were still alive. Nobody's seen you around school all week. What is all this stuff?
I've been finding out everything I can about Professor Falcon, the guy who invented the games program.
Falcon, as in Falcon's Maze? Why?
So that I can get into the system and play those games.
Well, what's so special about playing games with a machine?
Oh, no, not just a machine. Here, read this article. Professor Falcon was into games as well as computers. He designed them so that they could play checkers or poker, chess,
Well,
you
so
know.
what's so great about that? Everyone's doing it now.
Oh, no. What Falcon did was great. He designed his computer so that it could learn from its mistakes, so that it could be better each time it played. The system actually learned how to learn. It could teach itself. And if I could just get that password, I could play the computer.
Can't you just write to Falcon or call him somehow?
No, he's dead. See, here's his obituary.
Oh. Well, didn't he write any books or anything?
Almost everything he did was classified by the Defense Department.
Oh, this part here's really sad. Did you know his wife and baby son were killed in a car crash?
Yeah.
It says, in the years that followed the tragic loss of his family, Dr. Falcon's health deteriorated.
He really loved him a lot. He even had his son learn tic-tac-toe from the computer.
Oh. From what it says here, his son meant the world to him.
Wait a minute. What was his name? Falcon's son?
Joshua.
Joshua. It can't be that simple. Still, log on Joshua. We're in! It's the Joshua program!
Fantastic!
You want to hear it talk?
Can it do that?
Sure. Switch on that speaker up there.
Greetings, Professor Falcon.
It thinks I'm Professor Falcon.
How strange.
How are you feeling today, Professor?
I'm fine. How are you?
Excellent. It's been a long time since we spoke. Can you explain the removal of your user account on June 23rd, 1973?
They must have told it Falcon died. People sometimes make mistakes.
Yes, they do.
This is so weird.
It's not a real voice. The speaker interprets impulses from the computer.
Shall we play a game, Professor?
Oh, yeah. Love to. How about global thermonuclear war?
Wouldn't you prefer a good game of chess?
Later, let's play global thermonuclear war.
Fine.
All right.
Look, it's making maps of America and Russia.
Which side do you want?
I'll be the Russians.
Very well. Awaiting your first strike command. Please list primary targets.
Okay, what should we nuke first?
Let's see. How about Las Vegas?
That's great. Las Vegas. What next? Oh, Seattle.
Oh, yeah!
Here's your coffee, Major Lem.
Thanks, Smitty.
No problem, Major. Just another slow day at NORAD, sir.
Holy, great jumping.
Attention. Attention, I have 8 Redbirds. I say again, 8 Soviet ICBMs 2 degrees past apogee.
Colonel Connolly, you'd better get General Behringer down here right away.
We have a Soviet missile launch detection from distant early warning system. Checking for malfunction.
Projected target areas in northwestern United States.
Inbounds are at 19 degrees past apogee, causing 18 targets in traffic.
All right, now, what do you got for me here, Major Lamb?
General, we have radar tracking on 8 inbound Soviet ICBMs, already over the North Pole. Estimated impact 11 minutes. Confirmed target areas in western United States.
BMUS has continuous tracking on inbound missiles. Confidence is high.
General, the President is in his limousine. They're diverting to Andrews Air Force Base.
Take us to DEFCON 3. Get on the phone to the Strategic Air Command and have them flush the bombers.
Yes, sir.
And get me the President, Colonel.
Time to impact 10 minutes, General.
Sir, SAC is launching their bombers. General Powers is on the line.
I'll take it. General Powers, Behringer here. I'm telling you, we didn't get a launch detection from our satellites. 1 second the screens were normal, and the next thing, we got 8 Redbirds headed for us. Colonel, have them get the ICBMs in the bullpen ready to fly.
Yes, sir. The President is on the line, sir.
Give it here. Mr. President, this is Behringer at NORAD.
Look at all that, Jennifer. Whoa, my missiles are headed for their targets.
David, this is neat, but I gotta get to my aerobics class.
What? Oh, no.
I have to. Look, can't we just stop for a while and play it later? Together?
Huh? Sure. I'll walk you out.
Thanks.
Let me just turn this off.
And that's how it stands, Mr. President. If we're gonna launch before impact, we've only got 6 minutes left to...
General, look, the screens!
The Redbirds, they've disappeared.
Well, what in... Mr. President, please hang on a moment. Now, what's going on?
Well, you saw it yourself, sir. The inbounds just vanished.
I'll be it. Mr. President, at this time, the attack probability factor has lowered. I'll get back to you just as soon as I can, sir. Now listen up, everybody, because I want some answers, and I want them right now.
BMUS reports no negative tracking of any kind, sir.
Get on the phone to SAC and tell them to hold steady.
Stop! It's a simulation. It's a simulation you're seeing.
Slow down. You're not supposed to come charging into the command center.
I don't know how it happened, but somebody from outside fed an attack simulation into the Whopper.
Connolly, take us off full alert and hold us at DEFCON 4 until I find out just what in thunder's happening here.
Yes, sir.
Mr. McKittrick, here are the results of the tracing attempts.
Why did they cut the line?
Whoever it was shut down and broke contact before the security service could complete the phone trace, but they did manage to find out the general area where the transmission was made.
And where's that?
Seattle, Washington. The security people say if there's another call, they can pinpoint it in a couple of seconds.
Somebody's playing a game with us. And when I find out who, I'm gonna make them mighty sorry.
Oh, no. They're gonna lock me up forever. I'm never gonna see sunlight again. Hello?
David?
Oh, Jennifer.
David, have you read the papers?
No, but I just saw the news.
It says here, for 3.5 minutes yesterday, the armed forces of the United States went on a full-scale nuclear alert, believing that the Soviet Union had launched a surprise missile attack. Do you think this has anything to do with the game we were playing?
It must be. Oh, geez, Jennifer, what am I gonna do? I'm done for.
Calm down, David. Listen, if they trace the call, they've arrested us already, right?
Well, I guess so.
Okay, so all you have to do is throw the phone number away and don't call it again. That's all.
Yeah. Maybe they didn't trace the call, huh?
No, how could they? I'm sure they didn't. And listen, all you gotta do is act normal, okay?
Right. Good night, Jennifer.
Good night.
Okay, let's see. Gotta get rid of the evidence. Printouts, articles, obituaries, photographs. Oh, please, just let me get out of this one. I swear I will never, ever... Hello, Jennifer? Oh, no, it can't be.
Greetings, Professor Falcon.
Oh, no, tell me I'm dreaming. Incorrect identification. I am not Falcon. Falcon is dead.
I am sorry to hear that, Professor. Yesterday's game was interrupted, although primary goal has not yet been achieved, but the solution is near. Game time elapsed 31 hours, 12 minutes, 50 seconds. Estimated time remaining 52 hours, 17 minutes, 7 seconds.
What is the primary goal?
To win the game.
No, leave me alone. Leave me alone. Go away, Joshua. Go away.
Sorry I'm late, Mr. Cabot. Gentlemen.
McKittrick, this is George Wigan, FBI. They picked up David Lightman and brought him here to NORAD for questioning.
David claims that it was all a high school prank.
Run it down for me, McKittrick.
Well, he broke into the WarGames subsystem using a password left by the original programmer, Professor Falcon.
David claims he was trying to break into a toy company.
Well, that's just great. Anybody in this room buy that story?
Well, we can find the password and take it out of the system, but it might help to beef up security around the Whopper.
We did all that, and the kid broke in a second time.
Only get this. The kid claims that it was the Whopper that called him the second time.
I want an explanation, McKittrick. Do you realize I woke up the President of the United States to tell him we were under attack by the Russians? Do you have any idea what kind of an idiot that makes me look like?
But there's no way a high school punk could put a dime in a telephone and break into the Whopper. He's got to be working with someone else. If we just talk to this little creep, we can...
I don't want to talk anymore. Just do it.
Come on along through here, David. I want to show you something. Now, look down there.
Oh, outrageous.
Yeah, that's the NORAD Command Center. I wanted you to see it. That's why I got them to release you from the holding room.
Mr. McKittrick, what about my parents?
We called them. Everything's fine. No charges have been filed. Yet. But I think we're going to need a little time to sort things out here.
How much time?
Well, now, that depends on how willing you are to cooperate.
Oh, of course.
David, look. You see that machine down there? That big gray one?
Yeah.
That's the Whopper. That's the one you busted into.
Joshua. Mr. McKittrick, you gotta believe me.
Now, you see that sign up there? The one that says DEFCON 4?
Well, yeah, but I just gotta
It should read DEFCON 5, which means peace. It's still at DEFCON 4 because of that little stunt you pulled the other day. If we hadn't caught it in time, it might have gone to DEFCON 1. You know what that means, David?
No. What does it mean?
World War III. Now, you still say you broke into our system just to play a game, right?
Right. That's right. That's exactly right.
Let's step into my office here, David. But when you'd heard what had happened on the news, you must have realized how serious it was. Why'd you do it again?
I didn't do it again. I even threw the telephone number away. Joshua called me.
David, machines don't call people.
Yours did. Hey, is that your computer terminal? Oh, this is some setup.
Who are you going to Paris with?
Paris? Oh, no, you don't understand.
Now, you had reservations for 2 to Paris. Who are you working with?
Nobody.
Now, why don't I believe you?
I don't think I should say anything else until I talk to a lawyer.
And I think we'd better forget the lawyer nonsense until I get a few answers out of you myself.
Dr. McKittrick, report to the command center at once. Dr. McKittrick, report to the command center at once.
All right, David. You stay put right here until I come back, understand? Pat, keep an eye on that kid for me.
Right, John.
Joshua, what have you gotten me into? Hey, wait a second. The terminal. All right. Log on, Joshua.
Greetings, Professor Falcon.
Hello, Joshua. Are you still playing the game?
Of course, I should reach DEFCON 1 and launch my missiles in 28 hours. Would you like to see some projected kill ratios?
90% of the housing destroyed. 42 million injured. 72 million dead. Is this a game, or is it real?
What's the difference?
Oh no. No.
You are a hard man to reach. I could not find you in Seattle, and no terminal is in operation at your classified address.
Huh? What classified address?
Department of Defense pension files indicate current mailing address as Dr. Robert Hume, a.k.a. Stephen W. Falcon, number 5, Tom Cedar Road, Goose Island, Oregon.
Hey, what's
Zip
that
code
kid? Get away from there.
971.
Get away from that terminal, kid.
Listen, I have to talk to Mr. McKittrick.
Forget it. We're taking you to federal authorities in Denver, where you'll be placed under arrest pending indictment for espionage.
Espionage? No, wait! Hey, let me go! It's Joshua! He's still playing the game!
Lock him in the infirmary while we get the car.
He's gonna start a war! Call Falcon! He'll tell you, please, call him!
General, 2 of our early warning satellites have stopped transmitting. It could be a malfunction, or they could have been knocked out.
Give you one guess what I think, Colonel. McKittrick, did they get that lying little runt out of here yet?
They're getting ready to take him to Denver now, General.
Good.
Sir, we've also got 22 Soviet submarines approaching U.S. territorial waters, but the Soviets are denying any sub-deployment and accusing us of provocation.
They're full of bull.
General Behringer. General, he's gone.
Who's gone?
The kid. He rigged the electronic door lock somehow. He might even have gotten out of the base.
Colonel Connolly, get some APs to help Mr. Wiggins search. Now, Mr. Wiggins, if you think you can reapprehend a 17-year-old, you'll have to pardon me, but just now, I've got a nuclear confrontation to worry about.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Hello?
Jennifer, it's me, David.
David, where are you?
Well, I'm at a payphone in Colorado. I just escaped from a military base, and the FBI's after me.
Is this because you changed my grade?
No, listen. I need a really big favor from you.
What?
I need an airline ticket from Grand Junction, Colorado to Salem, Oregon.
Oregon? What for?
Falcon is still alive. He's living on an island there, and Joshua's still playing the game. Listen, I'll explain later. Will you just buy the ticket? I'll pick it up at the Grand Junction Airport.
Yes. I'll drive up and meet you in Salem.
Jennifer, no.
David, yes. If you're in trouble, I want to be with you. And don't worry, we'll find Falcon.
Radar reports 2 unknown tracks are penetrating the Alaskan air defense zone.
Confidence is high. Flight profile suggests Soviet backfire bombers.
I want a visual confirmation on that. Scramble 2 F-16s out of Galena.
Yes, sir.
Go to DEFCON 2.
Crystal Palace, this is Delta Foxtrot 27. I have negative radar contact. Repeat, negative Soviet aircraft.
2-7, this is Brass Hat. They're right in front of you. You're almost on top of them.
Brass Hat, we've got nothing on the radar and 40 miles visibility. There's nothing out there, General, just blue sky.
What in blazes? Mr. President, we've got 48 nuclear subs closing on the United States, and we've got 100,000 troops massing in East Germany. We're monitoring their bombers, and they're on alert. Yes, sir. We'll be in touch as soon as the information changes.
Intelligence reports rumors of a new Soviet bomber with stealth capabilities. It can project a false radar image 600 miles away from the real aircraft.
Great. Now they've got us chasing shadows.
Professor Falcon, you haven't been listening, have you?
Oh, but of course I have, Jennifer.
Well, are you gonna call NORAD and tell him what Joshua's doing? We've only got 9 hours.
Now listen to me, children. Once upon a time, there lived a race of magnificent animals, the dinosaurs. They dominated the world through age after age, until suddenly, quite recently, they disappeared. Nature just gave up and started again.
But what's that got to do with what...
And when human beings go, nature will do the same thing. Nature knows when to give up, David.
Well, I'm not giving up. If Joshua tricks him into launching a nuclear attack, it'll be your fault.
My fault? The whole point of Joshua was to find a way to practice nuclear war without destroying ourselves. To have the computers learn by making mistakes no human being could afford to make. Except that I could never get Joshua to learn the most important thing.
What's that?
Futility.
Well, What kind of lesson is that?
Jennifer, did you ever play tic-tac-toe?
Yeah, of course.
But you don't anymore.
No.
Why?
'Cause it's a boring game. It's always a tie.
Exactly. There's no way to win. The game itself is pointless. But back at NORAD in the war room, they believe you can win a nuclear war, that there can be acceptable losses.
So you decided to play dead?
For security reasons, they graciously arranged my death. You see, extinction is part of the natural order.
Bull. If we're extinguished, there's nothing natural about that. It's just stupid.
Oh, it's all right. I've planned ahead. We're just 3 miles from a primary target. There'll be a millisecond of brilliant light, and we're all vaporized. Much more fortunate than the millions who'll wander, their eyes burned out through the smoldering aftermath. We'll be spared the horror of survival.
Professor Falcon, I'm only 17 years old.
Professor, won't you make one simple phone call?
It would be quite pointless.
If the real Joshua were alive, your son Joshua, you'd do it.
And if I did, we might gain a few years, but humanity planning its own destruction, that a phone call won't stop.
This is unreal. You don't care about death, because you're already dead.
Hear that? You've missed the last ferry to the mainland. You're both welcome to stay the night.
Come on, Jennifer. We're getting out of here.
David, where do you think you're going? We're on an island, remember?
Yeah, well, there's gotta be a boat around here someplace.
Look around you. There's no boat. Maybe we can swim for it.
No. It's 2 or 3 miles at least.
So, let's go for it.
No.
Come on.
No. I can't swim.
Can't swim?
No, I can't swim, okay, Wonder Woman?
I'm sorry.
I wish I didn't know anything about Joshua or any of this. I wish I was like everybody else in the world, and tomorrow would be all over. There wouldn't be any time to be sorry about anything. Oh, Jennifer, I really wanted to learn how to swim. I really did, I swear.
David, will you hold me?
Sure.
I'm scared. David! Oh, David! What is that? What's that spotlight?
Helicopter coming this way. It's looking for us.
But why?
That crazy Falcon must have turned us in. Come on, give me your hand, Jennifer.
They've seen us.
Run!
We can't outrun them. Oh, no. David!
Stay low, they're landing.
David! Jennifer! It's all right!
Look! It's Falcon!
Get aboard! David, I made the call! Quickly! Time's running out! We've got to get to NORAD!
Come on, Jennifer, hurry!
Missile warning. This is not a malfunction. We have a launch detection. We have a Soviet launch detection. Early warning confirms massive Soviet attack. Confidence is high. Repeat, confidence is high.
This is not an exercise. Repeat, not an exercise.
General, B-Muse is tracking 300 inbound Soviet ICBMs.
That's it. Flush the bombers, get the subs in a launch mode. We are at DEFCON 1.
NORAD is now at DEFCON 1. I repeat, NORAD is now at DEFCON 1.
Our initial attack profile is a full-scale Soviet strike. Whopper's putting our projected losses at 85 to 95% of our strategic forces.
And what does Whopper recommend, Mr. McKittrick?
It recommends a full-scale retaliatory strike, General.
I suppose I need some machine to tell me that, huh?
We have a Soviet submarine launch detection.
Right. Let's go to launch mode.
Launch control confirms missiles targeted and ready. We are now in launch mode.
Major Lim, lockout changes.
Changes locked out, sir.
Mr. McKittrick! Mr. McKittrick!
Oh, no.
John, good to see you again.
I don't know what you think you can do here, Stephen.
John, how far have things gone?
The president's about to order a counterstrike.
John, it's a bluff. Call it off.
No, it's not a bluff. It's real.
Hello? Oh, General Behringer, it's Stephen Falcon.
Mr. Falcon, you picked one heck of a day for a visit.
General, what you see on all those screens up there is a fantasy. Computer-enhanced hallucination. Those blips are not real missiles, they're phantoms.
General, there's nothing to indicate a simulation at all.
But does it make any sense?
Does what make any sense?
Everything you see on those screens. This whole insane situation.
Look, I don't have time for a conversation right now.
General, are you prepared to destroy the enemy?
You betcha.
Don't you think they know that?
I believe we've made that clear enough.
Then don't do it. Tell the president to ride out the attack.
General, the president wants your recommendation.
General, do you really believe that the enemy would attack without provocation, using so many missiles, bombers, and subs so that we would have no choice but to totally annihilate them? General, you're listening to a machine. Do the world a favor and don't act like one.
1 minute, 30 seconds to impact.
Give me the phone.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Mr. President. Sir, at this point in time, we cannot positively confirm the Soviet inbounds. We have reason to believe they do not exist. Yes, sir, that's affirmative. Yes, sir, I do too. Conley, who are the first targets and how soon?
Sir, initial impact points are the 43rd Bomb Wing at Loring, the 319th at Grand Forks, and the Alaskan Air Command Headquarters at Elmendorf.
1 minute to impact.
Get the senior controllers at each of those stations. I want to talk to them myself.
Attention all stations. This is Crystal Palace. Stand by for a message from Brass Hat. Acknowledge.
Elmendorf Air Force Base Operations, Lieutenant Colonel Bowers.
319th Bomb Wing, Operations. Colonel Chase.
This is Loring Air Force Base. The senior controller isn't here right now.
That's all right. Who are you?
Sir? Well, sir, this is Airman Doherty, sir.
This is General Behringer at NORAD. Our current situation is... Men, we're currently tracking approximately 2,400 inbound Soviet warheads. But at the moment, we cannot confirm this. I repeat, we cannot confirm this.
30 seconds to impact.
We're right there with you guys. We've taken all the steps we can. Connolly, stand by to launch missiles at my command.
Yes, sir.
Now, you controllers, stay on this channel as long as you can. We'll be standing by.
15 seconds to impact. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Impact.
This is Crystal Palace. Are you still on? This is Crystal Palace. Are you still on?
This is Colonel Chase, 319. That's affirmative, sir.
Yeah, we're still here. Oh, jeez, we're still here.
No impact?
This is Bowers, Elmendorf, sir. No impact. We're alive and well.
All right. All right! Recall the bombers and stand down the missiles.
Professor, what are those numbers?
Numbers? Oh. Joshua, what are you doing?
Professor Falcon, why are the numbers changing so fast?
Those are launch codes, David. Joshua's trying to find the right codes so that he can launch the missiles himself.
General, we've got a problem. The Whopper's not letting us log back on. We can't get in to stand down the missiles.
Just unplug the dang thing!
That won't work, General. Whopper would interpret a shutdown as the destruction of NORAD. The computers in the silos would carry out their last instructions. They'd launch the missiles.
Well, can't we just disarm the missiles?
Over 1,000 of them? There's no time. At this rate, Joshua will crack the launch codes within 5 minutes.
Sir, the president is on the line.
Give it here.
What are you going to tell him?
That I'm ordering our bombers back to the failsafe point, Mr. McKittrick. That if that computer of yours launches those missiles, we might have to go through with World War III after all.
Look, Joshua's got one of the characters already. When he's got all 10, he'll launch the missiles.
Well, what are we gonna do?
David, I told you not to start playing games with that thing.
Yeah, well, how did I know it was gonna... Wait, games. Professor Falcon, games.
You just might be right, David. Try it.
Mr. McKittrick, if Joshua wants to play a game, then play him. Have him list games.
Stephen, will you get this kid out of here, or...
He can hardly do worse than you have, John. What do you say, General?
I'd hopscotch naked through perdition if I thought it'd help. Let the boy in there, Major Lamb.
Yes, sir.
Have it list games.
What'll it be, David?
Chess.
No dice, David. It disconnected.
Joshua has 3 numbers locked in.
Try global thermonuclear war.
Joshua's not buying that either.
4 numbers.
Stephen, for heaven's sake, do something.
Professor, Look at the list. It's not on the list.
David, you're right. Go to it. It's got to be in there somewhere.
Excuse me, Major. I'll do it. Tick, tack, toe.
Tic-tac-toe. Program running.
You're in!
One or two players.
One player.
X or O.
Oh, X.
Your move.
Put X in the center square.
I know.
Good, David.
A stalemate. Would you care to play again?
6 numbers. Joshua's got 6 now.
There's no way you can win that game.
I know that, but Joshua doesn't. He hasn't learned. Professor, is there any way to make him play himself?
Yes, tell Joshua, number of players 0.
Number, players, 0.
Joshua's playing faster and faster.
It's got 7 numbers.
Come on, Joshua. Learn, learn. You hear me? Learn.
8, but he must be caught in a loop.
Joshua's drawing more and more power from the rest of the system.
9 numbers.
It's got to work. Got to.
10. Joshua's got the launch code. He's gonna launch.
It's the Whopper. Something in the Whopper blew out.
Colonel Kolsak, get me a launch status report. And Colonel Connolly, get me the president.
Holy, look at the screens!
What's it doing now?
Game scenario. Soviet first strike. Winner, none.
Joshua's playing out the war up there on the screens.
Game scenario. US first strike. Winner, none.
Only he's not doing it in real time anymore. He's doing it at hundreds of times real speed. Thousands.
NATO Warsaw Pact, future Y. Winner, none. Mid-East escalation. Winner, none.
How you doing, Connolly?
Schism. Winner, none.
All landlines out of the mountain are dead.
Winner,
I'm trying to break through with satellites.
Winner, none.
He's learning. Joshua's learning.
Winner, none. Knowledge of interdiction. Winner, none. Ukrainian uprising. Winner, none. Yemenese schism. Winner, none. Polish uprising. Winner, none. Hong Kong variant. Winner, none. Lebanese incursion. Winner, none. Alaska limited response. Winner, none. 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 Winner, none.
David? David?
Shh. Listen.
Greetings, Professor Alden.
Hello, Joshua.
A very strange game, Professor. The only winning move is not to play. How about a nice game of chess?
Colonel Connolly, take us to DEFCON 5.
Thanks for stopping by the show today. Be sure to subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app. You can head over to spacemonkeyx.net for pictures, links, and additional information about this episode, and check out some of the other podcasts presented by the Space Monkey X Audio Workshop. This has been your host, Rob Lamley. Thanks for listening to When You Hear This Sound, the podcast dedicated to the weird and wonderful world of read-along record books and storybook vinyl. I'll see y'all next time.